Hi, guys. Welcome to the Soul on Fire show. I am so blessed to be here. Thank you so much for being here on the live. Thank you so much for being here on the replay. Today, we are talking about the soul's evolution through agape love and understanding and knowing how to reach and achieve the vibration and frequency of unconditional love and what you have to go through and the tests and trials that the universe puts you through to actually get you through there and how to actually manifest the life of your dreams through unconditional love. I am Noelle Agape. I'm your host. I am a quantum energy trainer, an NLP trainer, a licensed counselor, and I run masterminds around the world, adventure masterminds that tap into your zone of genius and break through every single limit that you have. We're going to Costa Rica in a couple of weeks if you guys want to join us. But today we are talking about the soul and the evolution and getting to the point of awakening and enlightenment. And this has been my greatest gift in my greatest journey that I've been able to come on is understanding and knowing that as through my shaman journey, I'm also a shaman, and understanding and knowing that what unconditional love is and how to bring that out into the world. And so much so that my name is Noelle Agape. I've become Noelle Agape on purpose with intention that I bring unconditional love out to the world as much as possible. But the journey itself of unconditional love is quite the journey, right? And so my book that's coming out is called The Road to Agape Love. Stay tuned for that. That is coming very, very soon. But it's about this beautiful journey of understanding self and understanding your self-love. And that really, truly is the journey of unconditional love and understanding the highest frequencies. And so many things come up in the journey of love, not just intimate love, but also love in the space of, hey, you know what? I'm super excited to go on this journey. I'm super excited that I get to experience the heartbreak and the love, the pain and the pleasure, experience all of it. It's God in you, through you. And when you understand how to get to that frequency, but you can't maintain that frequency without the other frequencies coming in as well. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get started. Let's dive right in. What is agape love and what is unconditional love? Unconditional love starts with yourself, right? And that's when you're at a level of unconditional love. I heard a podcast yesterday, and I'll start with this because this is very important. I don't remember the name of the person, so correct me if whoever knows, please link in the comment. But it was a beautiful gentleman that said that he actually believed that narcissism, the end point of narcissism, was the beginning of an awakening of an unconditional love journey. And so all of us have a bit of narcissism in us. And so it was an amazing podcast about understanding that the selfishness of, not just, there's extreme narcissism of the covert narcissist, but then, there's which is the core of shame and guilt and not loving themselves. So a narcissist, and this is a perfect description. Again, I don't remember this gentleman's name, but I'm quoting him, and so I will find it and then link it below. But what he said was that the narcissistic journey is of shame and of self-deprivation. And so the whole journey of unconditional love and being able to love others and at the level of unconditional love is understanding that you have to work through that endpoint of the narcissist within inside of you. Now, so many of you are like, wait, Noelle, what? I'm not a narcissist. I don't have narcissism in me. I'm giving, I'm loving, especially everyone on this channel. Most people are enlightened, but what we are is truly human in this human embodiment. And if you don't feel like you have growth in this human embodiment, then you have a lot more to learn on your spiritual journey. I promise you this. I am a shaman. I'm a quantum energy trainer. I'm an NLP trainer. I'm a therapist. I've been doing this spiritual work for 25 years. And I still have growth always, right, guys? So there is always a little bit of the shame. There's always a little bit of the selfishness. There's always a little bit of something inside of you. And the road to agape love is understanding. So agape love is unconditional love for all mankind, those of you that don't know. And so the road to agape love is truly knowing and understanding that agape love and self-love, unconditional love, starts with the inner self. And when you can project that out at a level, at a frequency, with non-judgment, without shame, without criticism, without comparison, without knowing and understanding that there is somebody, each of us are going through this journey. And the end point of that is such a good point to hear. And think about this, guys. So the narcissist journey is truly, the narcissist doesn't love themselves, and the narcissist does everything in their power to believe, even create their stories in their mind, that they're doing everything right so they can have this fake facade of actually love, when it's really just, disempowering. It really the most toxic journey you can go through is the narcissist journey. And understanding and knowing that through the narcissist journey, it is based in shame, and so all of us have a little bit of that shame. But what I did realize on my journey to love was that it had to actually be come through myself, with non-judgment of myself, non-judgment of my parents, non-judgment of anything in the world. And none of us are ever going to be living at the level completely of unconditional love, where, it's Christ consciousness is the highest level of unconditional love. That is what we're striving for, right? And so the less selfish that we become, the less shame that we have, the less judgment that we have. If you look at the characteristics and the endpoint of the covert narcissist, is the complete opposite of Christ consciousness. But that usually is the turning point in the awakening. And that's where I believe we are in society today. I believe that we are really in the awakening process of the, reforming from the selfishness, reforming from the disillusion of the brain and the mind and the programming and everything that was before us. We've now moved into the age of Aquarius, which is really moving from, the age of Pisces, which was the understanding, the awakening of Christ consciousness and learning the power within. The age of Aquarius is actually very, very different. It's the journey within you and your power within you, and tapping into that same Christ consciousness that Christ had, knowing that it's God in you through you, and knowing that you have the power and the ability to do everything. And Christ was the greatest master, and he showed us the way. But we all have it inside of us. Each of us have it inside of us, that we can truly, truly go on this journey of unconditional love, but we cannot do that without self-love. So that was a lot, right? It's a lot to understand and know that every single time we're judging somebody, every single time that we're putting ourselves in a hierarchy or a lowerarchy, someone's either every single time you put someone on a pedestal, then they're looking down on you, or every single time you're thinking you're above someone, you're looking down on them. And that's not really the journey of unconditional love. That's not Christ consciousness, right? And so knowing and understanding that you have to truly take a pause and take a beat when something triggers within you. And in the next segment, I'm going to talk about triggers, and I'm going to talk about how that shame is activated. Now, shame and guilt are the lowest frequencies on the planet. Again, breaking through the final piece of narcissism, when you understand that the narcissist is in shame and is in self-hatred and is in literally everything that they do is doing their in a selfish manner to make them feel loved, to make themselves feel not shameful. And so when you understand that that's the breaking point before the awakening, meaning that we all as humans have to go through this component before we can break through into self-consciousness, Christ consciousness and self-consciousness, right? And understanding and knowing that it is our responsibility. We may have been victimized, but we are no longer a victim. And that is the age of Aquarius. And that's what we're moving into right now, is understanding and knowing that we don't have to remain in that space. And it is our responsibility. And I said this last week, it is our responsibility truly to move through everything that comes up in our life and see it as there is good and bad, and nothing is good and bad. It's just the belief systems that our paradigms have taught us to believe, whether that's good or bad. Now, is there dark and light? Of course, there is dark and light in the world. And should there be boundaries? Of course, the stronger the boundaries, the more self-worth that you have. And again, you may have been victimized, but you are no longer a victim. Everything is inside of you. And the more that you project your shame, or the more that you project your judgment upon somebody, that is actually moving you away from your awakening, away from your soul's journey of unconditional love, and moving you back into the field of the selfishness and the narcissism and everything that we're breaking through, and all of the paradigms that we're breaking through. So understanding and knowing the journey of self-love and the journey of understanding is that it is a journey, but you cannot have one frequency without the other. You cannot have the highest frequency of Christ consciousness, unconditional love, without having the shame and the guilt, right? So it is our responsibility to transmute these energies. Nothing is ever destroyed. It is only transmuted. And so we're all energy. And when we understand that we're all energy, we can actually transmute the frequency that we live our life at. And how do we do that? It's through love. It's through gratitude. It is through the higher vibrations, the higher frequencies on this planet. Now, is it an easy journey? No. Is it a commitment to self? 100%. Now, as I'm going on this journey, and the more and more I find myself, and the more I'm living authentically, the more that I'm spending time with people that are not gossiping, people that are not talking about other people, people that are not living in shame, people that are not living in judgment, and cutting out people and places and things and frequencies, and being aware and living from a spiritually mature place. Again, do I fall from grace? All the time, all the time. And do I have to reconnect to my higher self every single day? I do. And so knowing and understanding how worthy you are is the key, right? Knowing and understanding that abundance is your birthright, that beauty is your birthright, that loving is your birthright, that unconditional love is your birthright. It's your connection to you and your connection to self and your connection to God that changes the paradigms of everything that you are. And the more that you make a conscious effort to be in gratitude, the more that you make a conscious effort to let others be on their journey and allow them to be where they are, and not have attachment and be completely detached from the outcome, because their outcome is you cannot control how people react, but you can control how you respond. And you can absolutely step into your power and step in and work on your inner narcissist. And again, I'm not saying everyone is a narcissist by any means, but I'm definitely saying that we all have shame, we all have guilt, we all have the lower frequencies within us, because it is how we learn. It's not looking at the night and the dark and saying, you have to move into the dark, and you have to move the light into the dark, and you have to transmute it. Yes, you do have to do that. But it's also loving and appreciating the dark as much as you love and appreciate the light. Meaning that, it can't all be bubbles and unicorns, because there would be no contrast. Or the universe and the quantum fields is based on contrast. And when you understand that it is completely based out of contrast, you can look at the dark, and you can look at the shame, and you can look at the judgment, and you can not respond in the same way. And that really is the agape love, and that is the unconditional love of the soul's journey, is to truly understand that you have to be comfortable in the dark and the light. You have to have a level of detachment, and a level to manifest, which I'm going to speak about in the next segment, on how to manifest this. Right? To manifest, you have to. The universe doesn't give you what you are, and the universe doesn't give you what you want. The universe gives you what you are, meaning your belief systems, right? How do you work in your belief systems? How's your neural pathways running every day? How is your nervous system running? Are you still in survival mode? Are you thinking that you're not worthy? Are you in a situation where you're surrounding yourself with toxicity, right? And again, breaking through that and understanding that through your pain is always your purpose. For me, I had a very, very, a lot of the journey with me was going through the self-love of narcissism, being raised with an alcoholic father. I had to come to learn to love my father. That was, he was a narcissist, and he was an alcoholic, and he was not very kind to us, right? And so I had to learn to love myself enough to know that he was doing the best that he could under circumstances that he was abused, and he was kicked out of his house, and how he had perceived life was not a reflection upon me as an adult, but as a child, I took on all of that pain and guilt and shame of being raised with a narcissist, and understanding that it doesn't have to be that way. Learning to love beyond that, learning to love someone for where they're at without judgment is the most powerful thing that you can do. But looking in the mirror and loving yourself and not having judgment towards yourself on this journey, that is the most difficult task, is when you can say to yourself, oh, wow, I messed up. I need to apologize. Oh, wow, I actually have to take accountability for my actions in this relationship, whether it's an intimate relationship or a business relationship or anything. You have to take accountability for who you are and how you show up on a daily basis. It is so powerful and so understanding that when you are in your power, in your light, in your love, you cannot be in the same frequency of shame and guilt at the same time. So you have to make a choice between the dark and the light. You really do. You have to, on a constant basis, God is asking us to make a choice between the ego and the consciousness. And the narcissism is the breaking of the ego, right? Narcissism is 100% ego. Again, I'm using that word very lightly because we all have the inner narcissist, the inner selfishness, the inner delusion of our mind of how things are supposed to be because of the stories and the paradigms. And, your thoughts become patterns, your patterns become beliefs, and your beliefs become your reality. How do you transmute your reality? You can't live in shame and guilt and be in the highest frequencies of enlightenment and be awakened at the same time. You just can't. You can't get there from there. But you can go through the pain, and you can see the pain, and you can be aware of the pain. Now, you don't have to analyze it and stay in the pain and be in the victim and go through this whole thing. What you do need to do is understand that there's a greater version of you that is waiting to explode and come through, and understand that through that, whatever pain it was, the selfishness, the narcissism, that all of it that's inside of you, because we all have it, is coming through you to come out to the world in a better, more positive way. Right. So it is our responsibility to take care of our emotions, our energy, our thoughts, our patterns, the people we spend time around, the toxicity, what we're putting into our brain, what we're putting into our body, what we're putting into our energy fields, what we're putting into our world. It is 100% our responsibility. I'm going to teach you guys some key takeaways, tips and takeaways on how to manifest and stay in the frequency of unconditional love in just a moment. We will be right back. We're going to take a quick commercial. Today's show is sponsored by my company, Noelle Agape Global, where we connect all things mind, body, soul, and spirit. We tap you into your zone of genius, and we have you allow you to break through all of your upper limits. So guys, if you want to come to Costa Rica with us, click the link below for Costa Rica, but stay tuned, because I promise you, we are going to talk more about the manifestation journey and understanding the manifestation journey. If you like this video, please like it and share it, send it out to the world, because more people need to know about this. We will be right back, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. I am Noelle Agape, I'm your host, and today we are talking about going deep into the quantum world and understanding what it feels like from unconditional love, agape love, the road of your soul and your soul's evolution, and moving into manifesting the life of your dreams. Again, I am a shaman, a quantum energy trainer, an NLP trainer, and a counselor. So I've been doing this a long time, guys. What the road to agape love is asking you of. What is it asking you of? What is the purpose of being here? It is to find love within yourself, to find love within others, to find love and bring that out to the world. Knowing and understanding that there's an inner shame, that there's an inner critic, there's an inner person, your ego, that we have to move past, right? And so to the fullest extreme, Your ego has a bit of narcissism to it, and the narcissism literally is the key point to the turning point of your awakening. Now, what does that mean? Your spiritual awakening, your souls have come here for two purposes: to experience life and to evolve. That's it. And so you have to look at where you were on your life's journey and where you're going, and you have to be clear as anything, clear, concise with the universe. I am this. And any words that follow after I am are exactly what the universe are going to bring you, right? And so I want you to examine. Here's a quick way to examine where you are on the journey, right? And so I want you to look at everything that is in your life right now. And I want you to look around your house. I want you to look around at how your time is spent. I want you to see what you're making a priority in your life, right? And so with whatever it is, where you're spending your time, what pictures do you have around your house? What are you doing? And is it work? Is it your family? Is your children? Now, from this space, I want you to ask yourself, what is it that I feel around what I have made as a priority in my life, right? So for me, I have pictures. My home is beautiful, and it's one of my biggest priority. But I have pictures of my kids all over my house. I literally also have, I have a business that I run, and I travel around the world, and in seeking my divine union, what I have realized is on my journey, my love, my divine union was at the lowest priority for me because I didn't have time. I was an overachiever. I built a business from nothing into what it is now, and multiple incomes and having my children and their busy schedules and putting everybody first. I put everybody first, right? And why did I do that? It was because for me, the greatest gift in the world I could give my kids was to be um, the best mom that I could be in a loving, caring way. But I had to do a lot of work on self love and self improvement through this journey. I mean, there were moments where I now in a space where it's incredible. My life is beautiful, and I can call in my divine king. But I will tell you this is that I was in toxic relationships. I've only been in 4 relationships in my life, and some of them were very, very toxic, right? And not serving me, but they evolved me to the next level of my life. And my priority was my children and my focus and my business. And I didn't stop and take a moment for myself. So the narcissist within me was, if I'm the best mom that I can be and I can build this business, then I will be successful. And so it was the shame and all of it behind it from my father that I had to work through. So I want you to look at the priority in your life. Now my kids are now 17 and turning 19, and my youngest is graduating soon. And so my kids are still my priority, and they will always be my priority, but they don't need me as much. My business is doing really well, and I've hired people on where I could actually start to let go of that. Now I've moved into a different place. I'm moving into being a producer and the president of a TV network, and now I feel like I could truly look at people and not have the same judgment that I had. My judgment upon myself was, if I'm not successful, then in whether it be in my as a parent. And believe me, there were moments where I wasn't successful as a parent. There were moments that I wasn't successful financially. There were moments that I made terrible choices in toxic relationships. But I had to evaluate my life and say, okay, this is not where I'm at anymore in my life, because my priority has to be different. Now, once you stop and you see where your time is spent and how you feel, my kids are my most important priority in my entire life. I feel amazing when I'm around them. My business was my most important part of my entire life. But before I hired a team, I was exhausted in my business. And all I really wanted was to call in divine love, guys. But really, I didn't have the space or the capacity. I wasn't allowing in the divine love. I was in judgment. I was in shame. I was in a lot of the frequency that I had to do the inner work. And I will tell you, the last 6 months of my life have been so transformative because I've been doing a lot of work on my nervous system and working with a love and relationship coach. Why? Because it was the component of my life that I didn't have unconditional love in. I had judgment. I had, toxicity. I had things in that area of my life. So I knew that, and I knew I couldn't do it on my own. So I got support and love in that area of my life. And now, my children and I are in the best place of we've ever been in our entire life. My home is built in an incredible, beautiful way. My business is now built and established, and I can now stop and say, I wasn't living in the narcissist in me was very, very selfish in the relationships that I were in before. I am the most giving, loving person in the world. And I have to take accountability that in the space of my relationships, I was not literally completely emotionally available. And so that's how you get to self-love, because I didn't have the self-love because I had to work on the internal things with my father. And now that I have done all the work on my father, I'm calling in that person. Everything else is in alignment, right? I've spent years working on my relationship with my kids, years working on my business, years working on it. And it is understanding and knowing that it is a work in progress. And that the more that I had to look at that internal narcissist of where I was being selfish, not only in as a mother, in a business, in relationships, in every area of my life, where can I bring in less judgment for myself and others? Where can I literally not have delusion and live in the fantasy? Where can I not put a story to things? Right. And so I want you to look at what is your priority, because you will create a story around that. Is your priority in a lower frequency, or is it in a higher frequency? Are you showing up every single day? Now, guys, I will tell you this. Even this morning in the shower, I was like, okay, do I want to run a rerun? Do I want to film the show? What is it? I have 60,000 things going on. And I stopped and I said, what is my priority right now? What's my priority is getting God's voice out to the world. This is world. This is my mission, right? My kids are taken care of. They're off at school or doing their own thing. My business is okay today. I needed to come and film this show. I needed to make it a priority, right? And I made a priority to work with my love and relationship coach, because that was a space in my life that was lacking, guys. So I want you to look at your life, 360 view of your life, pull yourself out, have awareness of where you have your time and your energy going. And what is the frequency of that? Is the frequency hustle and grind and trying to get to where you are? Is it at guilt and shame? Is it as inner narcissism? Is it at unconditional love? Or can you truly look at that space and say, okay, this space is where I need work. And this is where I need to do the internal work. And this space is where it's really, really, I'm knocking it out of the park in my life right now. And this space I'm doing really well at. But the more that I allowed others to do their own thing, and the less I stayed in victim, and the more that I worked on my internal critic, my internal narcissism, the internalness, and it turned everything inside, my business started to explode. My relationship with my kids started to explode. My clients just elevated. It was such a different experience. Now, from this space of being healed and on the journey, I can look back and I can say, okay, I was in so much judgment in my past relationships. And yes, I was victimized in some way with my father and some other things that have happened, but I am not a victim, right? And so from this space of solitude and this space of ungroundedness, I can look back and say, this is the frequency I was at, and this is the frequency I need to be. How do I become this version of me? I did a 360 view of my life, a whole 360 view of my life. Where do I need work? Where am I knocking it out of the park? Where can I do better every single day of my life? Where can I live in gratitude? Where can I not have judgment? Where can I not have self-shame? Where can I bring that in? When you do this, you have awareness, period. And when you have awareness, your life will start to change, because awareness is the final piece before consciousness. So in the manifestation process, the electro is your thought and the magnetic is your emotions, right? So the electro is a heightened sense of thought. The magnetic is a heightened sense of emotion. So your thought and your emotions become your reality. Your thoughts become patterns, patterns become beliefs, beliefs become your reality. Where in your life, 360 view, honesty, because if you're not honest with yourself, where in my life am I being selfish? Where in my life am I being judgmental? Where in my life have I had self-criticism? Where have I judged myself? Where have I lived in shame in my life, right? So shame is the baseline before the awakening. Shame is the baseline before the awakening. The lowest frequency is always going to be able to catapult you to the highest frequency, but you have to have awareness of that. Where am I in shame in my life? Where am I delusional in my life? Where am I creating stories around being a victim in my life? Takes a lot to do this because it all of a sudden shifts your energy to I am the victim and this is hurting me, to I was victimized, but this will never hurt me again. It is the most powerful thing that you can do when you understand that in the manifestation process, the thought and the heightened sense of emotion, and then you have a time lapse, and then you have the transition period of changing your identity. And then you move and then you have awareness of what your identity is, and you become that identity, and then you move into consciousness. So through that journey, there's always going to be the selfishness and the shame piece that you have to let go of in some area of your life. There's always going to be a lower frequency that you have to move into consciousness. It is your responsibility to do that. So I want you to write down every area of life. I want you to write finances, your relationships. I want you to write down your relationship with your business, your kids, your work, everything, your health, your physical body. And where are you in shame, in guilt, in fear, in anger, in hurt, in sadness, in all of it? All of it. Where are you not feeling good enough, worthy, safe, secure, and protected in your body or in your job or in your relationship? Where are you not living in authenticity? Where are you feeling like you're not lovable? Where are you feeling that you're not loved and supported? Those are the areas of your life, the inner critic, that need to be transmuted. Those are the areas of your life that are screaming. Your inner child is screaming for attention. And when you understand that your priority will always manifest, right? So people will spend money on things that they don't even realize that they're spending money on because it's a priority to them. Now, a priority to some person, it may be a different priority to another. So part of the Agape unconditional love journey is understanding where people are at and just accepting where people are at. Bob down the street wasn't a jerk to you because he just is a jerk. Bob down the street maybe he had something, maybe he got in a fight with his wife right before he talked to you, or the relationship you're in, maybe he had a really bad day at work, or maybe he's going through his own inner critic, and maybe maybe they are working through something that you are not on that journey. Where can you find more love in that space? Where can you find more compassion in that space? Where can you find gratitude for everything that already exists in your life? Because guys, I promise you this, if you are watching this show, you should have gratitude because you have internet, you have the ability to watch me and do this. There's always something in life that you're going to get better at, and there's always something in life that you're moving away from, and that is part of the identity piece, is the non-attachment to the outcome and understanding of the who exactly you are and who you're becoming and the frequency of that, but not necessarily, again, and I can't stress enough, you're working with the frequencies. You're not working with a person or the place or thing. You're working with your inner frequency with inside of you, your inner talk, your inner guidance, your inner journey, your highest self, God, source, universe. It's all working through you to bring something out to this world. When you understand that, guys, when you understand that there's a part of you that is screaming to get to unconditional love, there's a part of you that is trying to break through this, right? And so you say, well, how do I do this? How is the key takeaways? Now that you have awareness, you have to take action on a daily basis, right? Whether it means getting a mentor, whether it means getting a coach, whether it means, guys, I have spent so much money on personal development. and on business development. But I finally am at the point where I'm doing amazing and well, and my kids are doing amazing and well, and I'm healthy. But there was a point in my life right after my last relationship, where I've only been in 4 relationships in my life, and right after my last relationship, I said, I have to do something different. I have to look at what I'm doing wrong in this space. I have to look at my inner narcissism, right? And say, okay, this is my work with my dad, right? Where am I with the masculine? Where do I have a masculine shield? I had to be raw and real with myself and say, okay, something is not working in my life. And I masked it with overachieving, guys. And here's the thing is your ego will always try to keep you safe. So I masked it in judgment. I masked it with overachieving. And I was like, if I super successful and love on my kids and knock my business out of the park, it doesn't matter. And I'm more powerful than you because you're making these choices and doing all those things. That's all ego, right? Stop and pause and say, this is where I'm doing really good. Congratulations. Thank God I worked so hard and I took action in that way. Where in my life do I need to take action in a different way, in a more compassionate way, in a more understanding way to myself? Right? I had to pause and stop. And in the last 3 months of my life, I have been working with my coach, and she has changed my life because we worked with our nervous system to get me back to safety in being in a relationship. And what I found was that inner narcissist that was being selfish or judgmental or like all of the things that the narcissists do, the shame, wasn't even mine. I was carrying it because my, things happened in my family when I was little. I did the internal work on my trauma. Right now, did I stay there? No. Have I gone deep? I have. I mean, there were moments where I was like crying in hysterically in the shower after 25 years of doing this work because I took accountability for who I am. I need you guys to hear this. The road to agape love was enough self-worth for me to say, enough is enough. I have boundaries. I will not be treated like this anymore. I am not treating myself like this anymore. And when I raise my frequency, that is when my partner, my lover, my best friend, the man that's going to spend my journey with me is going to show up. And my business exploded. My relationships with my kids got better. My entire life has gotten better because I've done a 360 view of my life. But I didn't say this was your fault to any of the men that I were with. As a matter of fact, I stopped and said, wow, I was not so kind to this person. Wow, I actually could have been better to this person. Wow, this is where I didn't have boundaries within my self-love. And this is where my self-worth was not coming up. Where in your life are you not allowing yourself to have self-worth? Abundance and love are your birthright. Your birthright. Where in your life are you living in shame? Where in your life are you living in guilt or fear or anger, hurt? Feeling not worthy, not good enough, not safe, secure, and protected, not lovable, not whole and complete. There's a part of you that is waiting to expand, to move into unconditional love, to agape love, because God, source, the universe is coming through you. But here is the biggest piece I can teach you guys. Unconditional love is not bubbles and unicorns. The dark has to exist with the light. The deep soulmate love has to come with heartbreak. The abundance has to come with understanding of lack. Why? Because it has to have polarity. The universe wants balance. You will go through something in your life to show you that you're at a lower frequency and it needs to be transmuted to a higher frequency, but you cannot get to that higher frequency of love, of light, of gratitude, of abundance, of wealth without tapping into the lower frequencies as well. Now, do you have to stay there? No. How you respond is huge. The universe is going to bring you what, like attracts like. So if you keep ruminating that you're a victim and you were victimized and you're living in shame, whatever it may be, it's going to ruminate, and that's what you're going to project out to the world. But if you have an awareness of it, that's 90% of it. 90% of what is going on in your life is that you don't have awareness of it. I want you to stop and do a 360 view of your life. I want you to literally list every single part of your life. Where are you in a higher frequency and where are you in a lower frequency? Where are you not being honest with yourself? Where are you not having self-love or boundaries or self-respect? Or where are you not allowing things in your life to project out through you out to the world? You are more powerful than you know, and everything, including Christ consciousness, is inside of you. All of the answers are inside of you. Take a minute and pause and make you the focus of your life. And understand that if you make yourself the focus of your life, that inner critic, that inner narcissism will be heard. And then you can move through that, right? It is the most powerful thing in the world to understand that there's an area of your life waiting for you to expand into, because we are here to experience and expand. And along the soul's journey of evolution comes the dark, because the dark has to be there to make the light. We'll be right back, guys. I promise you that. I'm going to give you some key takeaways on how to go and navigate this soul's journey on a higher frequency, and knowing and understanding what to do when you get there. We'll be right back, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. Thanks for those that are watching live, and thanks for those that are watching the replay. Today we're talking about the soul's evolution and journeying through the soul, and understanding and knowing that there's all have an inner critic and an inner narcissism that we have to break through to move into our highest awakening. And the greatest thing in the world, guys, is that it is all inside of you, meaning that everything that you have a desire for in your life, everything that you have a desire is put there on purpose, for purpose. Meaning that if you don't believe that you can get there, you never will. And so what I want you to do is, I want you to just take a moment in this moment in time right now. I want you to be as present as you possibly can. And I want you to stop, and I want you to feel. And I just want you to feel into, and I want you to go through, you just made a list of everything in your life, every area of your life. I want you to literally just put your hands on your heart and drop your eyes closed. And I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to even ask yourself, God, source, the universe. If you don't believe in God, source, the universe, then just talk to a version of you that already exists, that's a higher version of you. You put your hands on your heart, and I want you to ask yourself, what does my body need right now? What does my mind need right now? What does my subconscious mind and my subconscious beliefs around this subject right now? I want you to go through each and everything on your list. I want you to write down, what do I need right now? Who do I have to become? All right? Who do I have to become? What do I have to do to become that person? So once you know and understand, you ask your body, you ask your mind on all of the subjects. What do I need? Who do I have to become? What actions do I need to take to get there? Right? That's the blueprint. But a big thing that I do on a daily basis, and this was from Gabby Bernstein, so thank you, Gabby. You're a beautiful soul. What I do on a daily basis is I say, who do I want to, I write it down in my gratitude journal, right? When I start to get triggered and I start to live in like a lower version or shame or anything like that, I immediately go into, what am I grateful for right now? I'm so grateful for my kids. They're such amazing, beautiful humans. I'm so grateful for my ex-husband taking care of such good of my kids. You know, it's this weekend we had a party together, and he just was an amazing dad. And I paused and stopped and said, you know what? Instead of being in anger and hurt and shame, we've known each other for 30 years. He's such an amazing dad. He's really done an incredible job at raising my children. And my home is so beautiful. My businesses, my clients are so incredible. I'm going to Costa Rica. I live a life of travel and adventure. I'm a producer and a network president. Like, I started to feel into who I became once, that shame started to kick in of, oh, you're not worthy, you're not good enough. I will tell you this, guys, every single level of my career, every single level of me being a mother, every single level of everything I've ever done, there's been an upper limit, another upper limit that I had to go through. I just became network president of a huge platform, right? And that scared the crap out of me. And I had to take a beat. Last week, I literally sat in bed and I didn't get out of my pajamas. Got out of bed, took a shower, got back into my pajamas, got back in bed because I needed to have self-care. I needed to have self-love. I needed to evaluate, right? So again, Gabby Bernstein, going back to what she says, who do I want to be today? Who do I want to be? How do I want to feel today? What do I want to give today? What do I want to receive today? And those are three big things that I ask myself on a daily basis. But I want you guys to go through every one of those things, from health, finances, business, relationships, all of them. I want you to ask those 4 questions. Who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? What do I want to give? What do I want to receive? Because if you're not aware of who you want to be and how you want to feel, and that's your identity, and that's your belief system, and then what you want to give and what you want to receive, which is the even flow of energy, that's how you manifest in those 4 questions. You become, you feel it, you know it, you understand it, and you embody it. And then you give and you receive, and it's an even exchange of energy. And that is unconditional love, right? That is agape love. That is not the selfishness, the shame, or the victim, the not worthy, the inner critic. That is, who do I want to be right now, right? In this stage of my life, I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago. I'm not even the same person I was 5 months ago. Every single day, you should be dying to the old version of you and expanding. Who do I want to be today? How do I want to feel as that person? If I want to be, I want to just, I'll use the example. I'll use my life. Okay. I want to be a network president today. Who do I want to be? How is that network president going to show up? How am I going to show up? I had to show up today to film my show. If I want to run a TV network and I want to be a producer, I have to show up for you guys, right? And had I not shown up, that's saying, oh, I'm not okay with being in this role, right? How do I want to feel? I want to feel empowered. I want to feel light. I want to feel love. I want to feel like this is my soul's purpose, right? What do I want to give? I want to give as much information and joy and love to you guys as I possibly can. What do I want to receive? Well, I always want to receive love and support, right? And so it is this beautiful dance and game with the universe that and again, your health, your finances, your business, your relationships, your family, go through every single one of these. Stop, pause, take time, and understand who you are. You are God source universe in a physical form, right? Who do I want to be? If I had everything I possibly wanted in this world, who do I want to be today? How do I want to show up in that role? How do I want to feel in that role? How do I embody myself in that role, in that energy of the highest frequencies? What do I want to give from that space of my cup being completely full? What do I want to receive back? Right? You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to love. You are allowed to be abundant. Give yourself permission is the first and foremost thing. Look at your life, do a 360 view, figure out where you are exactly in this moment in time, and be as clear as possible of where you want to be and who you want to become, and do everything in your power to make that your priority to become that person. Give from your heart and your soul, not from being a victim or from selfishness or from receiving back. When I give, it is me giving because I can love from my soul. And I promise you this, even more than I've ever in my entire life, I can give love. I've given love my entire life. But what I realized was that I was giving love from a place of judgment. I was giving love from a place of, if I take care of them, they'll love and nurture me. My cup is so full right now of love, of joy, of unconditional love, that people, when they show up and they're not correct, in my vision of not being correct, I have to say, how am I not correct? Because that is a reflection of me, nothing more. And so when you understand, you take a 360 view of your life, you bring awareness to it, you literally say, who do I want to be? How do I want to feel? How do I embody this? What do I want to give? What do I want to receive? You get to receive back. It is a law of reciprocity. It is a law of understanding the polarity of the dark and the light, that you're not a victim. You are more powerful than you know. You can love from a space of unconditional love by loving yourself first. Loving yourself in every one of those categories enough to say, I am going to receive because I'm going to give all that I have. When you can say that with complete conviction that I am not giving to get, I'm giving to give because I am so grateful for everything that I have received, you will receive 1,000 times more. I promise you that. I promise you, when you understand that the dark, your story around the dark, your story around the narcissism, your story around the judgment, your story around the shame is the only thing that's blocking you. There's nothing, not one thing, not one person outside of you. Everything is an internal job. It is looking at your life and a 360 view and saying, this is where I'm in ego and this is where I'm in consciousness. How do I not be an ego today? How do I embody consciousness today? How do I embody love today? How do I love myself so much that I could love others with ease and grace and joy? How is it easy for me to love at the level of unconditional love? People ask me that all the time. They say, Noelle, you've got a heart of gold. How are you living the life that you're living at the level that you're living it and still be able to give so much? Because I found the journey of love. And it's the journey of love within me, guys. And it is not from the narcissistic, selfish, I need to receive. It is, I have received. And it is beautiful because I have spent the time getting to know and getting to love and getting to honor me. When you get there, your life will transform. Unconditional love, agape love, the road to agape love is self-love from within. It is God in you, through you, every moment of every day. And when you get triggered, you fall from grace, you start back at ground zero. Oh, what is happening right now? How is this in alignment with who I want to become? Am I in victim? Am I in narcissism? Am I in shame? Am I in guilt? Where's that inner critic coming out right now? Am I having imposter syndrome? What is that shift I can make right now? What is this teaching me? Where do I need to be? How do I need to act? How do I have to be? Who do I have to become to be different today? The journey of self-love, the journey of unconditional love is the most beautiful gift on this earth. God in you, through you is not bubbles and unicorns. God in you, through you is understanding that the darkness is guiding you home to the light. There is a purpose for everything. There is order behind the chaos. When you live in the chaos and you live in the victim and you live in the shame and the lower frequencies, it doesn't allow the light to come in. The only way the light can come in is by you turning within to you, knowing your power, knowing your worth, knowing why we're here on this planet. Consciousness is a choice. Love is a choice. Unconditional love is a choice. Moving from victim to victor is a choice. Every aspect of your life is a choice between the dark and the light. The dark's not going anywhere, and neither is the light. Do I choose my ego? Do I choose my consciousness? Do I have awareness of the patterns in my life? Do I have enough consciousness to change it? It is will, it is determination, it is self-love to the highest form when you say yes to consciousness, when you say yes to not being that inner narcissist, when you say yes to not looking at your past as your future, when you say yes to change, when you say yes, the universe will test you. Say, well, is she ready? Let me give her some more of the old, some of the opposite, right? When you stand firm in who you are with conviction and love and at the highest frequencies and say, there is no back door. I see that this is what's showing up in my life right now, and I am choosing a different path. I'm still understanding that I have to live in this reality right now, but I'm doing everything in my power to change it. And until that reality becomes a reality, I will spend my choices embodying that. Who are you going to be today? How are you going to feel today? What are you going to give today? And what are you going to receive today? That is the component of unconditional love. I choose to be conscious. I embody conscious decisions. I cut toxic people and places and things out of my life because I'm making conscious choices. I have non-negotiables and boundaries. I have self-love. I show up differently because I am embodying this person. I'm going to give from my soul, and then I'm going to receive all the universe has to give. When you love you as much as I love you and know that God, source the universe, loves you, it is not punishing you. It is showing you a better way, a different way, a more powerful way to live in consciousness and unconditional love. The world is inside of you, not outside of you. Start making this journey an internal game between you and your highest self. God sourced the universe, and I promise you, the world will conform. You are so powerful. You are more powerful than you will ever know. God in you, through you. You have a gift to bring to the world that no one else can bring. Not one person can bring that gift other than you. Stay true to you. Live in authenticity and evaluate your life all day, every day. Evaluate your frequency, evaluate your choices, and just do better because the world needs you more than ever. I love you guys. And if you feel that this resonated with you, please like, share, and send it out to the world because we want to raise the consciousness of the world. And together, we are the change. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.